The situation in Lismore is dire, with many wondering how they'll recover. And there's anger. Locals are begging for more help, likening the carnage to a war zone.
Nothing can prepare you for this total annihilation of a city.
Basically everything is damaged, everything is out the front.
It's destruction on a catastrophic scale.
Gut-wrenching.
Really hard, hey?
5 years ago, we had what we thought was a couldn't get any worse type situation, and now it's gone so far beyond that.
This is Lismore's CBD, where every single business has been devastated by these floods, most even up through the second story. And it's got most business owners and operators asking, how on earth do they start to recover from all of this?
Since 2017, we were just rebuilding. We had all of our CBD shops full. Things were really starting to come along, and then this hits you, and you feel like you've been trampled by a mob of bulls.
So went to the roof. Mayor Steve Krieg lost his home and business. Elected just 11 weeks ago, Steve's now leading the town through its toughest test.
If I go down in a blubbering heap, a lot of people in the town will probably follow that lead.
The flood here last week blitzed all known records. The heart of the northern rivers now shattered.
This is one street in the CBD, but there are hundreds of streets with residential homes and stuff like that that look equally as bad as this.
At Kerry Horner's Toy Kingdom, there's no joy left. What was it like inside your store after the floods came through?
War zone. Ceilings, lights, everything was dangling and hanging, and soggy mess of boxes and toys.
He lifted all stock up to his mezzanine, a previous flood safe zone, but it wasn't enough.
2017 flood was a walk in the park compared to this.
And despair is now turning to anger in the town. There was little to no warning for what Mother Nature unleashed.
It wasn't until the 12th hour that everyone found out that this was going to be bigger than Ben-Hur. And
Rod Latimer is trying to figure out how he and his wife's business can recover.
My wife and I only bought this building a month ago to try and secure our future.
Now that future is in doubt with spiralling costs. Bankruptcy isn't out of the question if there isn't more help.
I think there needs to be some higher level officials that have dealt with catastrophic situations to come in and give people a plan.
Oh, it's like a bomb, like a war zone.
It's slow work in the city streets. These helpers are just volunteers. Calvin Conlins came out of retirement to serve his community. What's it like seeing your CBD like this?
Heartbreaking. Absolutely heartbreaking.
They're saying 1 in 3 homes in Lismore may have to be demolished because of this.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Max Barton's entire 2-storey house was swamped by floodwater. How do you think the town recovers from this? Can the town recover from this?
Personally, I don't think so. If not, it'll be 10 years or more, probably.
Around the corner, Sian O'Toole only moved in October.
Yeah, I'm pretty stressed and overwhelmed, but I don't know, I feel every day goes by, I feel better because I've just had so much support even though I'm new here.
She checked previous flood levels before she bought, but no one expected this.
Well, as you can see, my house is pretty high. The water came into about 180 centimetres in my house. So basically everything is damaged, everything is out the front. Have a good day, nice to meet you.
But help is now rolling in, donation after donation.
It really is intense. We've never seen a flood like this in the history of this town.
Joel Abell is from Convoy of Hope. They're setting up depots across the region for people to come and take what they need.
We know that the need might be different today. In a few days, that will change again.
It's a monumental road to recovery for Lismore and surrounds, but it's the little bits of hope that shine through which are helping to mend a broken-hearted region.
We're a stubborn bunch, we're country people, we love a fight, and we're certainly not going to give up without a fight.
The community is certainly doing its own heavy lifting. Dr Cam Hollows has spent 10 days travelling to isolated towns where there are no other medics. I spoke with Dr Hollows a short time ago from Lismore. Dr Hollows, thank you for your time. I know you've had a hellish 10 days. Let's start with what you've been doing today.
Tracy, I've been back out to Coracai where I was doing some house calls with patients who have been flood affected, having also gone through the nursing home and done a round on their most urgent and sick patients. There's a 50-bed nursing home in Coracai. I've been the only doctor able to get there. I went back to check on Coracai because I'd been out there by chopper on, I believe it was Thursday of last week, because when I arrived at an evacuation centre they had enough doctors and I heard there was a chopper going to Coracai, and anybody around here knows that Coracai is where the rivers meet and the waters come the most together, and so I put everything in my first aid kit in the back of a car, in the back of a chopper, and I went to the hospital, got a small box of essentials and found myself hot loaded onto a chopper and in Coracai.
I understand you left home about 10 days ago and it's been basically you with your trusty medical kit. What have you done and what have you got in that kit?
So I took the call at the Independent Catholic Hospital the other night where I work occasionally. I covered that hospital with the assistance of some of the other senior doctors in and out who were able to, and via phone, until the usual doctor was able to get out from floodwater. I got home on perhaps 2 or 3 nights after that and had a change of clothes and a shower. My house is warm and dry on the ridge. And was just tucking into dinner when I heard that they had to evacuate Ballina Hospital. And I helped with a rather orderly evacuation of Ballina Hospital. Once that was handed over, it took me a day or so to get back home. Myself and another doctor who'd helped with that evacuation, his family were flood evacuees, they were in my house. We went to 2 separate aid centres the next day. His one managed to get him a hot ride with the SES to our usual clinic. And I spoke with him and said, can I get a ride too? And they said, no, but there's a chopper going to Coracai and that doesn't have a doctor.
Luckily, you packed a defibrillator because at some point in the last 10 days, I believe you saved a man's life with your defibrillator.
At some point in the last 10 days, some excellent nursing staff and other members of the public with first aid training and retained fireys saved a man's life with my defibrillator. I was actually at the nursing home. I found myself back there as the man was coming around after the second lot of electric shocks. I helped package him up and get him in a chopper, but I didn't save his life. That was nursing staff and local volunteers.
Here you are, you know, a solo doctor, still packing your kit, leaving home every day and going to isolated nursing homes, getting in helicopters, packing a defibrillator. Do you ask yourself, where are the designated medical teams that are supposed to be swarming around that district now? Where's the ADF? Where are the resilience crews? Where's the help? Where's the cavalry?
So I've liaised with ADF today, I've liaised with local medical staff. I don't want to disparage anybody, Tracy. The scale of this is, you can't say unfathomable because it was 8.5 fathoms of water over Lismore. Boots are on the ground now, but the other day when I was in Lismore and they said they were sending the army, I thought, we don't need the army, we need the Navy. That's how much water there was, Tracy. Yeah, there's certainly questions that need to be asked, Tracy, but I'm not prepared to think that I've got the answers to those today, but I was able to be a small part of it.
Yes, you obviously have been, and I think that you've made a huge contribution, but I mean, did you feel like you were a bit on your own for a while there? Because certainly other people in the district have said that.
I think it would be safe to say that lots of people have felt that, Tracy.
Have you got the help that you need now, even now?
We are at a level of local GPs patching up other clinics, but this is more than just health, this is the schools. my kid's school is going to have another kid's school moved into it because that school and town no longer exist.
And there's discussion now about rebuilding, about even with the houses that have been destroyed, whether they should be rebuilt there. I mean, what are you hearing from people, locals? How do they feel about that discussion? Because this is their home.
They're still in a bombshell state, Tracy. The mental health ramifications of this are vast and long-standing, and we already had long-standing and vast issues of mental health in Australia with COVID. Some of my patients before this were still patients from the fires who hadn't had any support to rebuild, who were still in shedding and tentage and stuff like that.
Are you okay?
Yeah, look, I've had a shower most days this week. I've slept in a bed. I've clearly not going to suffer from a few meals that I miss, and I've had clean bottled water because I had the forethought to take some with me, and when I ran out, other people had found some for us.
Well, you've done good work and there's a lot of work still ahead. Thank you.
A lot of work still ahead. Thank you for having me on, Tracy.